In the last class, we discussed about how to go with custom pipes, and even we discussed about introduction of forms and how to go with services. Today, let us go with more about Angular forms. So just have given introduction only yesterday. Today we'll go with the complete concept of Angular forms. What is this form? Angular provides two different approaches to handle user input. User input. The approaches are template driven forms, and one more is reactive forms. So we are having two approaches in Angular in order to handle the user input. They are template driven forms and one more is reactive forms. Both capture user input events from the view. Both are going to capture what? User input from the view and validate the user input. Whatever the user input is giving, we can able to validate it. Then create a form model. Create a form model and data model to update. We can able to develop Angular forms in two ways. One is template driven and one more is reactive. Both can able to handle the user input, validate the user input also, and it can able to create the form model and data model. So we'll discuss what is form model and data model. Now, so what is the difference here is in template driven forms, the form is created using directives. The form is created what? Using directives in the templates. So what is the meaning of template? Your HTML file. So in the HTML file, we'll be having like app.html or book.html. In the template file, we are going to design the form. And the form validation, validations are done using directives. The form validations are done what? Using directives. Whereas in the case of reactive forms, the form is created in component class. The form is what? Created in component class, means your TS file, TypeScript file, TS file. And the form validations are done using functions here. In the case of reactive forms, we are going to do validation using functions, right? So today we are discussing more about Angular forms. Yesterday I've just given an introduction of forms. So in Angular, we can use two approaches to handle user input to create forms. One is template driven and one more is reactive. Then in template driven, the form is created using directives in the templates. Means in the HTML file, we are going to design the form here. And form validations are done using directives. Whereas in the case of reactive forms, the form is created in component class. That is your TS file, TypeScript file, and validations are done using functions. Right? Now, so let us go with the example. So before we go to example, let us install Bootstrap into our Angular project folder. Let us install Bootstrap. So install, and remember, developing template driven forms is much more easier than reactive forms. Then install Bootstrap in Angular project. How to install this at your prompt or terminal. Let us suppose we are in Angular project folder, right? We should go to Angular project folder. In our Angular project folder, we have to use the command npm install bootstrap. Npm install bootstrap. Now, let me show this. Open our project folder in command prompt. So we are in project folder. Here we need to install bootstrap. How to install is we have to say npm install bootstrap. It will take little time to install this bootstrap. Done. Now, so once it is bootstrap is added, our next step is open project folder in Visual Studio Code dot. Once we open our project in Visual Studio Code, open this index.html file. Index.html file. Here we need to add our bootstrap library. How to add our bootstrap library is, so what is our next step is, after installing, add bootstrap CDN. We call it as bootstrap CDN in index.html file of src folder. So here you can find index.html file now. In between head section, we need to add the style here. Let me show this. So how to get bootstrap CDN is open search engine Google and you can search for bootstrap CDN. Go to this bootstrap CDN. You can find the bootstrap CDN for CSS. Just we have to copy this. Just we have to copy here. So HTML, click to copy. Copy this and come to this index.html. In between head section, we have to paste it. We have to paste here. Right? Just we are linking this link rel style sheet and we are referring to bootstrap CDN and this is the file bootstrap.min.css. So we are referring to this external CSS file in order to make use of bootstrap. That's it. Save this file. So let me provide here in between head section. We have to just use this content. So just you can copy from here and you can use it. Now once we add this bootstrap into our Angular project, let me go with an example. If you run our project in this set, go to this http:// 4200. So this is the one we are getting. So let me remove this app book. Just I'm keeping in comments and let us create one button here. Button. Submit. See, we are creating a button. Submit. See, we are getting a button. Submit. So when we use Bootstrap, it comes with the predefined classes. So Bootstrap class is what we call. So class equal to, you can say button primary. Button primary. See here? See where the color is going to change. This is our primary button. If I take here one more button and I'll say here delete. I'll say what delete. Then here if you say here danger. If you say danger, see, we are going to get it in what? In red color. If you take a button like info, we'll say it as safe, or success, we'll say success. See, we get in green color, right? So this predefined classes we can use. So these classes only we call bootstrap classes. These classes only we call what? Bootstrap classes. Here, for example, here also we are getting it as what? Center aligned. Here, if I use the class equal to text primary. Here we are getting text primary. So like that we can use the classes. When we are working, we'll be learning the bootstrap classes directly, right? Got some idea of bootstrap, all of you? Right? We need to add this link in index.html file. Then we can start making use of the bootstrap classes. Now, it's a very simple one, not at a complex one. Just using the classes only completes our bootstrap here. Now, let us come to our Angular forms. Let us initially go with this template-driven forms. Template-driven forms. Example application. The first step, let us create one component here. Create a new component. Let me go with the name student template driven. I'm going with the name student template driven. Any name, it's up to you. So to create a component, ng generate component. Let me go with the name student template driven. Let us do this step. Ng generate component student template driven. Then the files will get created. Now, once the files are created, so here we'll go with two important files. One is .html file and one more .ts file. So the important files here is refer programs, student template driven .html, and one more student template driven .ts file. Next one, app.html updated. The next one, app.ts updated. So whenever we create a new component, we need to add those components in this app.html and ts file. Now, let us go with these codes. Here, let us go with this template, student template driven. You can see the file template driven.html, template driven.ts files. Now, here, whenever we want to use Angular forms in this ts file, here under imports, we need to use what here? Forms module. And even we can go with common module, because as we are going to use directives, we have to use common module. Now come to this HTML file and let us create one division, class equal to container empty4. So it's a bootstrap class. So it's a container is what where we put all our elements, that is called as container. So here this one is a bootstrap class. And even I'll elaborate what is the advantage of making use of bootstrap. One thing is look and feel, and one more is responsive web pages. The meaning of responsive is when you change the screen size, automatically it is going to adjust to the elements. Based on the screen size, it's going to adjust the elements. That is the meaning of responsive web pages. So in order to go for responsive web pages, we have to use this container empty4. There. Now, go here with the element h2, student course inquiry form. We are going to create a form here, student course inquiry form. Now, create a form using form tag, and I'm going with the ID to your form, inquiry form equal to ng form. So this inquiry form is that is the point what we have mentioned here, form model. That only we call form model. So where all our form data will be present in this name inquiry form, and it's what? It's an Angular form. Then submit, ng submit. When you submit the form, we want to invoke the function on submit. On submit, to this we are going to pass our inquiry form. This name, we have to pass this name, inquiry form. So inquiry form holds what? All our form details. Now create a division, class equal to MB3. It's all related to margins. Then go with the label. Label for name, class equal to form label. Again, this is a bootstrap class. It's a form label, and we are saying it as full name. So I'm going with the label what here? Full name. Then now create a text field, input type equal to text, ID equal to name, name of the text field again name, then class equal to form control. It's a form control. Then apply the two-way data binding, square bracket parenthesis, ng model equal to inquiry.name. Now say required. Required means what here? We have to compulsory fill this name. We have to fill the text field. That's the meaning of required. And here we are going to do the validation using a name called as name control, name control equal to ng model. So the name control is what here? ng model. Then now we have to apply the validation for this text field. How to apply the validation is, here we go with div class equal to text danger, div class equal to text danger, star ng if equal to name control dot invalid. So if the data is invalid, means if you are not filling, because we have mentioned required. So if you are not filling, means it will go with what? The control will be invalid. So we are applying Angular directive ng if equal to name control dot invalid and name control dot touched. Means if you keep mouse pointer on the text field, name control dot touched, then we'll say name is required. Name is what? Required. Okay, right? Let us see whether it works up to here. Under imports, let us add here student template driven. We are adding step component, and what is the element to enter into this component? App-student template driven. Come to app.html. Let me keep this code in comments. App template driven. Let us see whether it works up to here. ng sir, unexpected closing tag. Good only, no problem. Okay, so we have to complete total thing. We need to even go with the TypeScript code also. Then only it's going to work. No. So we have done with what? We have done with the name here. We have taken what after here? Name. So this division, what you are taking is for accepting the name of the student. Then now let us go with the next one. Let us create one more division. I'm just copying. Then create one more division. Here let us go with the label for email. Label for email, class in form label, and here let us go with the label as email and create a text field input type email. So because we have to accept email means input type is what? Email. Then input type email, id equal to email, then name also email, then class same form control, and two-way data binding ng model inquiry dot email, then required, and it's of what? Email. What you require here? Email. So compulsory user has to fill email only. Means when I say email validation means we have to use @ symbol and dot symbol. Then here I'll say email control. So the validations are done by using what ID? Email control equal to ng model. Then now create here div class text ranger star ngif equal to what is the name of this validation control? Email control dot invalid and email control dot touched. Same thing. Email control dot touched. Here we have to say email control dot touched. Then we'll go with the message valid email ID. Valid email ID is required. Right? So this is the message what we are giving for validation. Then the next one. Create one more division. Here we'll say label for phone. Label for phone, class form label, and here we go with the label as phone number. Then now create a text field input type equal to 10. Means we are accepting a telephone number. Input type equal to 10. ID equal to phone. ID equal to phone. Name is also phone. Name is also phone. Then class form control ng model equal to inquiry dot phone. Inquiry dot phone. Then here some more new things. Inquiry dot phone, and here we'll go with the pattern. So when you go with phone number should have only what? Digits only. So here we'll go with a pattern equal to, the pattern should be what? 0 to 9. So we should take digits only in between 0 to 9, and we can go with what? Maximum 10 digits. So this curly braces 10 indicates in the phone number we can go with what? 10 digits. Then required. Required, and the validation control name is phone control, and we'll say a NG model, right? So we are just creating the input type fields here. Then now go with the validation message. Div class text danger ng if phone control, here the name is what? Phone control dot invalid and for phone control dot touch it. Here we'll say the message. We'll go with the message valid 10 digit phone number is required. We are going with what message? A valid 10 digit phone number is required. Clear up to here, all of you?
I have a doubt. Like by using the bootstrap, we are using the class form label and the
Right,
container empty4, right?
right.
How we know particular this area we need to use the container empty4 like that?
So generally when you are creating forms, we will be using this container empty4
Mm-hmm.
forms. Okay. And here this one form label. Form label is what? It's a label, right? We are going with the label. What is the label here? Like phone number. And this form control indicates I'm going to control the value present in the text field. That's the reason the class name we should take it as form control. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just to use the classes, nothing complex of Bootstrap. If time permits, just you can go through any video related to Bootstrap. Okay?
Okay. What is the difference between the bootstrap and the CSS class? CSS class is also used for the styling, right? Here we are using
Right.
the bootstrap is also for the styling. For the by
It's also
using
for
the default.
styling purpose. But
Yeah,
if I want to develop this, do I need to write code in CSS?
no need to write the code.
How? Have to give the color, right? We have to create one class selector and we have to say color button. We have to select button color. We have to provide the font. We
Yes,
have to
yes.
provide all those things. You should write, right?
In CSS class, we should have to write
We
each
should
and
write.
everything.
But Bootstrap, they have given the details for us directly, right? They have
Yes,
given
yes.
ready-made classes.
Yeah, yeah.
They have given ready-made classes here. So is my task becoming reduced here? So Bootstrap means what? It's a CSS library. So
Okay,
that's the
okay.
reason I've added this bootstrap.min.css file. So it's an external CSS file. That's it. So all the code they have written using CSS only. And they have given the classes to us. I'm directly using that classes here. Nothing else here. Got
Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
So Bootstrap is also CSS internally, but we call it as CSS library because in Bootstrap they have created all the classes, ready-made classes, like example this button primary, button danger, button success, right? And even we have used it somewhere here like text danger. Okay, we have used no this one. Text danger means it will come in red color. So in CSS you should write the code how to style it. But in
Yeah.
Bootstrap, they have given the classes to us directly. We have to just use that classes. Got it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Moreover, by using the bootstrap, we can do the page responsiveness also, right?
Right, right. That is one more advantage. Okay.
Mm.
Right.
In future, can we use both bootstrap and the CSS at one project?
Yes, we can use. We can use it. Okay. In
Okay.
the reactive forms, I'll go with CSS. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Right. We can use both the things. We can use some places, some class may not be present in Bootstrap, but I want to do my own styling. Then I have to go with CSS only, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Correct. Yeah. So now what we have done, we have accepted name, email, and phone number. Now let us go with the next one, codes. Let us go with the next one, label for codes, class form label. Then here we'll go with the select codes. Select codes. This is important. Select codes. Now here I have to go with what here? Select, right? What we have to use now? Select. Select ID equal to codes. The name equal to codes. The class equal to form select here. Class equal to what? Form select. Then apply the two-way data binding, square bracket parenthesis, ng model equal to inquiry dot codes, and we'll say required, and the ID for validation codes control equal to ng model. Codes control equal to ng model. Now here we have to go with the list of options, right? Here we are going with select codes, name codes. It's a classes form select, and we are applying the two-way data binding. Again, we are saying required, and the validation ID is codes control. Now here we have to provide the option. So here we'll say option value equal to value disabled select. Then we'll say select codes. Next one. Then how to get the options here? How to get the options? This is very, very important. So here I want to take the options from your TypeScript file. From your TypeScript file, I want to take the options. So how to take the courses from your TypeScript file is go to your TypeScript file. Go to your TypeScript file, and here go with the property courses equal to, we'll see here, Angular Spring Python. The next one will say core Java. You can say CPP, like this. Some courses. Okay. Right. So I should take the data from these courses. So how to take the data from these courses? Here. So we have created what? A property called as courses. Now we should take the data from the courses. So since we are having multiple courses, here we have to use the Angular directive ngFor. So here go with the option star ngFor equal to let C of courses. So what will happen? It will go to this property courses. These all courses are taken one by one and stored into this C here. Let C of courses. Then C here. We are going to do the property binding value equal to C. Value equal to C. And what we should display? Two curly braces C here. Right? So value equal to C means what are the codes you have selected, that value it's going to do. And this data binding we are doing. So what are the codes we are taking now? These all courses will be displayed over here. And this will get repeated. So all the courses, what I have entered here, that courses will be displayed and the user can choose the codes over here. Got this one? Select option, all of you. How to take the data from here? Right? The validation part, div class text ranger, ng if codes control we have changed now. So codes control dot invalid and codes control dot touch it. Here we go with the message. Please select a course. We'll go with the message, please select a course. Then next one. Next one. Next label for message. Label for message, class form label, and here we'll say message. The user can fill the message over here. Like here we'll go with text area. We use the element text area, ID equal to message, that name equal to message, rows equal to 3, class equal to form control, then to data binding square bracket parenthesis ng model equal to inquiry dot message. Inquiry dot message and close your text area. Okay. Now, so for this we are not going with any validation part because message is optional. Going with the message is what? Optional. We are not making it as required. Then finally, we go with a button. Button type equal to submit, class equal to button, button primary, then disabled equal to inquiry form dot invalid. Disabled equal to what? Inquiry form dot invalid. I'll explain this again. Then we'll go with the value like submit inquiry. Submit inquiry, right? So this is the form what we have created. So only we have designed the form now. Now come to this TypeScript file. In this TypeScript file, we are doing these two imports, forms module and common module. Then export class, student template driven, and we are going with the courses. And here we'll go with the property inquiry. Inquiry equal to name. We'll go with the empty value. Then email. Initially we go with the empty value. Phone also empty. All the things we are taking it as empty strings here. Codes also empty. Then message also empty. So just we are taking all the things as empty over here. So when we open the form, we get all the values as empty fields. There. Now, when we click on this button submit inquiry, it's going to invoke which function? On submit. So create a function here on submit. On submit, we are going to take a form of type any, means whatever the data we are getting from here. Inquiry form. Inquiry form holds all these values. That will come and store into this form here. Now, write the code. If form.valid, then we'll go with the message console.log form submitted, and we'll say this dot inquiry. And we even go with one alert message. We go with one alert message, inquiry submitted successfully. The message. Then say form.reset. We are just calling which method? Form.reset. That's it. Okay. Now, let us test our application. In this set, let us hope we won't get any errors. Now, see here, we are getting the form here. See. So what is responsive is like when you change the size of your screen, automatically it is going to adjust our data. Automatically it is going to align our data in your web page. This is the meaning of responsive web pages. There. Now, so submit inquiry, it's not highlighted because what we have done here, see, you can check it here, button submit, input type button submit, and we have disabled it. Inquiry form dot invalid. So if it is invalid, it will get disabled initially. Initially it is disabled. And how to make it enabled? See, once we enter into this on submit, if form dot valid, if it is valid only, it's going to make it as enabled. Now, if you are filling, see, if you are just touching this, if you are just touching and coming out, not filling, see, it's saying the name is required. And in email also it's saying the valid email ID is required. Phone number, I'm touching, but not filling any data. Valid 10-digit phone number is required. And we can select the codes here, see, from here. And if you are not selecting anything, please select a codes. Message is optional. Okay. And in phone number also, if I just go with some number, it will say valid 10-digit is required. Even if I go with only 1, 2, 3, valid 10-digit phone number is required. Email, if I just type only test, it will say valid email ID is required. Okay. So these things only we call validations. Clear the meaning of validations? Compulsory you have to practice this. No need to mug up the code. Understand the code. What is happening, just understand. That's enough for us. Okay. Now, go with the name. Go with some mail ID. Go with some phone number. We have to select a course. Then go with the message. I'm looking for Spring Online course. See, if all data is valid, see, your submit inquiry button is enabled. Now, once we click on the submit inquiry, see, it's saying, see, inquiry submitted successfully. Inquiry submitted successfully. And if you check here, inspect, and if you check here console, see, we are getting the message, see, form submitted. Form submitted. Okay. So here we are getting all non-solvency, but don't worry about this because we are not taking the form data and using somewhere else here. Just we are getting what message? Form submitted. Okay. Right? Got it, everyone?
Yes.
Right? Compulsory you have to practice this. So all the codes I'm going to share it. All the codes I'll be sharing. So whenever you create a new component now, please remember we have to add it in app.html and app.ts. In app.html, what we do? Just we are going to use the element name. This one. What are the element we are using now? The selector name. This element we have to use in app.html. Then in app.ts, we have to do the import. Under import, we need to import here our component. So these two steps we have to do for every component what you are creating. Then only your new component is going to work here. Okay. So please practice. And let me add into our GitHub. Right click and say show more options, git bash. Do you remember the commands? Git add dot
Git commit.
Commit, very good. Git commit -m
Name of
Angular
the form.
forms example code. I think single quotes may not work.
Double
Git. What is
push.
our next command? Git push. Very good.
Git push.
Right. That's it. Okay. So take the code and go through that, how it is there, understand the code, that's enough. Okay. And after that, what are the experiments you want to do, you can do it here. Okay. In tomorrow's class, we'll go with what? Next one, reactive forms. So tomorrow we'll discuss reactive forms, and the day after tomorrow, we'll go with routing, and even we'll see HTTP client module. So next two classes will complete our Angular. Then from next week, we'll go with the next concept, that is Linux and AWS. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you very much.